Oh man. All right, so into Gray Davenport, a fellow I've met several times and finally recognized that I've met him before. The third time I met him. Sorry, Gray. Another contact me button, but it goes somewhere. Look at this.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Is Gray
And
here, by the way?
there's a giant tweet by you.
This huge tweet. Yes. Oh, is Gray jumper cables? Is that Gray? I feel like that might be Gray. I'm so bad at recalling handles, man. I'm the worst. Okay, well let's on the page. Okay, well let's go to the main page again. Gray Davenport. Here it is up top. Sound designer. Cool. And first thing we see is, yo. Thanks, Gray. I'm gonna carry on, not say anything about that. The so yeah, jumper cable says, yo, what up? Is that a yes? Confirm or deny? Are you Gray? All right. Reel up first. Good. Excellent. And we've
Oh,
got.
it's for me on my computer. I just opened it up, and the reel is below the fold. Like the first thing I see is a giant contact me, and I got to scroll to the reel.
Yep. Agreed.
Don't make me scroll.
Yeah. This information right here. Contact me. Like, why would I want to, man? Yes, that is Gray. This is me. Okay. Thank you. So Gray, if I didn't know you, why would I want to contact you, man? Off the top, like, why would this be the first thing I want to do? It's kind of the brutal truth that is, I have no reason at all to press this button until you give me a reason to. And that reason could be right here. And given that that needs to happen first, why not put this first, you know?
Yeah, I
Put it
could
there.
be super jaded and be like, nah, I don't even want to scroll down. Next.
That's not even that unrealistic at all.
Unfortunately, no.
It is not even unrealistic at all. It's a nice splash image. Yes, it is. It's very nice. The chain link is nice, but okay. We will go to projects, main theme, and some stuff. Have I seen this? I feel like I've seen this before. Is this a V2? I can't recall if this is a V2. Give me a second. Am I totally forgetting this is a V2? We've got Gray. Oh, this is a V1, I think. What? I've seen this though. I've seen this Lucha more. I don't know. We'll get there, I guess. Okay, well let's go to sound design first, I guess. In total, sorry, Matt. Yeah, what's up?
Oh no, go ahead, Kevin.
I was gonna say, in total, I've worked on 34 game projects over the past 4 years. These are a handful of those projects with a bit more detail of what I did on them. Okay, great. Death Trash, audio mockup. It's a lot of things. Shattered Empires. These are the things on the front page, I guess.
Here's
Yeah.
a comment I've got.
Yeah.
You're calling out now. Now I have no idea about this Shattered Empires game, but calling out audio director to me can get a little like dicey at times. Audio director means different things to different people, and just because you're the one guy in charge of audio on the game, in some cases, to me, is like you're not the audio director. Audio director is like you've got people under you and teams and stuff. So I know in indie land, audio director kind of means a little different thing, but in AAA, it also means another thing.
Yeah, like audio director Blizzard. Who is under that person? A lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you are directing the audio of the game. I think that's a totally fair statement, but then are you a AAA audio director?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Hereafter, Project Nuts, Cardboard Kingdom. I've seen this. Why have I seen these things, man? You for sure have some crossover with somebody else I've seen. There's no way. Lucia Moore. I'm sure we'll find it out. We'll figure it out. Bait and Switch, Zombie Snuff, Thief. Okay, great. And these go places. Yes, great. Let's go to music quickly. Let's have a glance. Is this the same things again? Like real? I guess so, right? Poltergeist. So these are all things on the front page too. I guess they're just being more kind of separated into what they are.
Yeah, I'm noticing I was scrolling around the front page and then going to sound design and music. There's a lot of repetition, and I almost start to get confused by what it is I'm looking at, where, and have I seen something, or you know.
Yeah, yeah. Like your reel page, it has your reel and then projects, and like maybe it's worth having projects just on a projects tab. Like this is all my other stuff. So just like leave the reel as like this is all you should care about on the front page. Like this is all you need
Yeah.
to know. It's very clear that way. And then move these things elsewhere if I care, you know? So
Yeah.
put this into music, put this into sound design, etc. Because it looks like all the things in those pages are accounted for here. Maybe a couple are not. But in general, it looks like it is. Okay, and then we'll go about really fast. About me. There he is. Sax. I've grown up on the West Coast, mostly Northwest, in Olympia, and now Redmond, Washington. I've played saxophone since I was 9 and video games since I was 7, PlayStation 1. Both of these key parts of my life, of my life, are what have led me to being a sound designer for games. I like this bold, by the way. Redmond, sound designer, graduating sound designer composer. It's cool. Currently a senior studying music and sound design at Japan Institute of Technology, graduating in April 2017. Hope to bring sound design and adaptive music to unique and awesome projects in the future. I worked on over 30 different game and animation projects as both sound and composer, as well as doing implementation with Wise and Fmod, followed by integration in Unity and Unreal. Cool. Other than creating sounds for media, I also enjoy generating music and sound in pure data. You nerd. I've created samplers, tone generators, different DSP effects, insult generators, and have even programmed Space Invaders in pure data. Whoa. Okay, that's cool.
Awesome.
Send me your high score, I'll add to the score below. That's really funny. High score list on your page, that's sick. I love that. I'm legit gonna beat this score. I'll look at that later, I guess. Contact is fine. Like this is almost, you have contact everywhere. I kind of love and don't love.
I'm a fan. This goes back to the don't make me search how to get a hold of you.
You like it? Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Just I'm fine with that being in my face everywhere.
Contact me. Just contact me. Do it.
Yeah.
Contact me.
Good. I'm good. I don't have to think. As soon as I'm like, yeah, I'm into gray. What do I do? Right there.
That's so funny. Like the moment it happens, like, yes,
Yeah.
pull the trigger. Contact. Here's a button. Thank God. Okay, here's another contact. Let's play a game of how many contact buttons I can have on the screen at one time. Resume. I like this resume too. Looks nice. Skill level. Boom. It's cool. It's attractive. This is good, man. I like your visual awareness to things, like the bold things here and your design here and your overall layout. I like it a lot. Good stuff. This is back to the T-shaped thing. That kind of thing is what Matt was talking about. T-shaped, like T-shaped does not mean a bunch of audio things and really good at like post-production. That's not necessarily what it means. Like for us, like Power Up wise, I mean we're a small team. We're doing things like marketing, and like I have a lot of detail kind of aptitude for things like video editing, and like our website, we kind of worked with a designer, but like a lot of that's our own thoughts, and we did the same kind of like the bold stuff on our site, and it's really, really useful, and that's just like a call we made. And that kind of thing isn't going to be called out by people coming to you, but they're going to notice it. And they're going to notice it either like explicitly or kind of just subconsciously. And both ways are good. So good for you, Gray. Good stuff.
In a kind of like even broader sense, like one of the ways I'm a TP person here at Clay is I help run and build the booths that when we show at conventions.
Yeah.
That was something I did as a freelancer, was booth building when I, was needed work. So it's just like, that's a whole nother skill set that's like has nothing to do with me as a sound designer. But I'm bringing that to the table here at Clay, and like, oh yeah, right, awesome, we've got somebody who can build a booth.
Totally. And I mean, same thing with like Jeff and Joey. We go to PAX and similar shows, likewise to yourself, and I can trust that Joey will be at a booth and being able to speak to the public easily and appropriately and get the point across. And if like press comes by and Jeff's the only one at a booth, I know he can like conduct an interview. Like these are things that, they're skills that we have as a team, and it helps a lot that like we're good at sound design, cool, but like we have other things we can do if we need to,
Yeah.
It's very useful, very hireable, man. It's good stuff. That whole 34 projects is kind of pointed to that too. Let's go to the reel, yeah?
Real.
And how long is this? Don't break our heart, man. Don't do
It's
it.
good. It's good. 101.
101! Yo!
Right in the ballpark. Good.
Oh, it corrected to 1. It changed. YouTube's like, oh, wait, yeah, one minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great link, and right off the top, I'm just like giant title card. It shows me all the info I want. So
Great Davenport.
it's good.
Yeah, this is great.
We're off to a good start.
Okay, I'm going to full screen this guy, and I will mute you. 5, 4, 3.
There we go.
Okay, so in the chat, Sean was asking, I missed it. What's the T-shaped model, Matt?
T-shaped is knowing a lot of things a little bit, and then one thing really well. So
Yeah.
you can cross over and talk to and interact and help with other people.
So why it's called T-shape is like, I think of it like I-shape. I is like one skill, and it's like, that's it. And then T is like many skills, and then one really good item.
Yeah. Go find the Valve handbook, the Valve employee handbook, and they have a really good representation of it there.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, that's like a strong reel. It's pretty strong. Let's look at presentation first. So we talked about the title card. It's great. Really good. Like, boom, here's your name, sound design, very obvious, and here's your information. It's all I need to know. Lovely. And at the end, how are we doing at the end? We have same thing. Wonderful.
Yeah. Titles were good for the games, but they disappear.
Yep, agreed. Leave them up, man. Just leave these guys up. Death Trash, sound design, mock-up. Cool. And then we'll go across to Sluggy's Fruit Emporium. It's like work in progress, Fmod. And then we have, next is
Neon Wasteland.
Neon Wasteland, sound design, wise and real.
See, one of the things I kind of liked about this, I mean, just from the titles alone, I can tell that, like, you've used with a bunch of engines, with a bunch of middleware, like, right off the bat, which is cool.
Yeah. One thing I'll say, though, I'm surprised, I was surprised there weren't more things. Like maybe 5 things or 6.
Yeah.
Because you kind of boast about these 34 projects on your front page. Or rather on the, is it front page? I don't know where it was. Some page. The point is I saw it. I saw the 34 projects thing. And I was like, oh, cool. This would be like an interesting reel as far as showing a wide array of things. And then even down here, it's like, here's all these things in the projects.
Yeah.
But I guess this is probably some music too or something. And that's why there's not a ton of sound design. But like, surely you can find 2 more things that you could show off in sound design, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought like the middle section went on a bit long. I was totally, like I was all in for Death Trash. And then, although, like, how do you feel about starting with a mock-up when it has 34 projects?
Reading into it, I think it's a bit odd.
Yeah.
I want to see more, like, done stuff. My first gut reaction to Death Thrash was it's a fairly harsh sounding game, which is probably right for the game, but it's a bit assaulting as the first thing I'm hearing.
Yeah.
That's coming at me.
Yeah. And the thing is, this next section is like, there's so much character, and you're working in Fmod. Like, this is generally stronger as far as just something to show.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a cool name. It's even work in progress. Who cares? Sound design, Fmod. There's a lot going on. That's really powerful, and it's like kind of quirky. so it's very
Yeah.
attention grabbing off the front too.
Just kind of rolling back to Death Trash too. There was the clip at like 11 seconds. Don't dare fuck with us. Now that's totally part of the game, and that's cool, and we'll work on lots of stuff. There may be people that take offense to that being in the reel,
Yeah,
and you could unintentionally offend somebody that you don't want, like you don't mean to at all. You know.
yeah, and that's the kind of thing that you probably just like need to decide for yourself. I mean, for example, back to Jonas Turner.
Yeah.
I've seen Jonas do talks, and he's like swearing all the fucking time, you know.
Yeah.
And when you hire Jonas, you kind of know what you're getting, you know. So in this case, it's not like it won't necessarily hurt you, but it might. And that's if you're at a point where you want to be leaving all opportunities open, then maybe that's dangerous. But I mean, it didn't bother me personally, and I'm
Right,
gonna
it
guess it
doesn't
didn't
bother-
bother Matt
yeah.
either.
Neither didn't bother me personally either. It just made me think, oh, somebody might be bothered by that.
It did like it caught me off guard. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But I'm not like okay, whatever. Like I swear all the time. Yeah, so maybe like I like Sluggies first instead, and not as long, and something else after Sluggies, and then maybe Death Trash after that, and then into the
And then the
Wasteland? Yeah, and like maybe something else you like here and there. I don't know. I feel like you gotta have something else you like because the sound design is generally strong. So I doubt that this is your only strong sound design you have. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go into material selection. So again, mock-up first is a bit like weird, as I said, like reading into it. The Fmod thing, I don't know if this is like a shipping title, if it's like a student thing, or if it's a project that is gonna ship or anything. Maybe that's worth
Yeah, a
putting.
little more calling out that stuff might be worthwhile.
That's like a presentation thing, mind you, but it just occurred to me right now. It's cool, like 3D. I assume it's VR. That was my assumption. It's like a chaperone here. It looks like. And then last section is again like a 3D thing, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Why is Unreal? It's cool. Yeah, it shows like you're getting in there into the nitty gritty.
I felt a little bit of a disconnect in the middle bit with Sluggies. All the slurping stuff sounds more like a mouth sound to me than a creature moving.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about kind of quality like right now if you want. I'm all about talking about that. It's like in the chamber, ready to go, man. Well, let's start with the Death Trash sound effects.
Yep.
So I'll play this through one more time from the beginning. Oh, and just to step back to presentation one more time, there was that one clip, I meant to mention this before, this here, the frame drop is real, man. And this happened in, who was it, man? We had a reel while back, there's like a first-person shooter, or third-person shooter, do you recall that?
Yeah, where there was an ambience redesign.
It was Ali Toker, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like an ambience design thing, and like the guns also, and it was just like it was chugging so hard, and we're like, was that us or was that the real? Just
Yeah.
like it's a high res capture of like low frame rate, and that kind of thing. It's not like it's gonna hurt our perception of sound, but as far as sync goes, like I have no idea if the sound that you're playing is accurate to what I'm seeing because it's like it's playing at 10 FPS, you know.
Yeah.
So that might be worth addressing or just like omitting or fixing somehow. So sound-wise, how do you feel about the sound design, man?
I find the top, kind of talked about this before, but I find the top a little odd with those three kind of like distorted chirps.
Mm-hmm.
Past that, I do think the sounds fit the style of the game really well. Like I do think it's kind of this low res kind of thing, and it works.
Yeah.
I would kind of chop off that first little bit so that because right after that we get into some like sounds that I liked a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, it's cool to kind of show UI and like show that you have interest in kind of fleshing out UI with interesting kind of stylistic choices. But here we only have like 2 button presses, right? It's like, and we're done.
Yeah.
And then we have the VO, or it's a VO, for like the dialogue. And I get there's a narrative there. It's like choose your character and then play for a while, and then this happens. But it's Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit bold to start with that up first, and that might work better if it was like after some other things.
Mm-hmm.
If we began with sluggies and went to something else and then went into that.
Yeah.
That might be a little better. But as the very first thing you hear in a reel, it's a little bit bold. Yeah.
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 If you jumped into combat instead of those UI tones, it'd be better.
So we're shooting here. So one thing is the gunshot is like always at the right. You hearing that through there or on your end?
Mm-hmm.
You shoot and it's like to the right every single time.
Yep.
And that definitely distracted me the first time I heard it. I was like, I heard it being right heavy. So that's maybe worth addressing. I don't know. Don't you dare fuck with us. Never. And then some guns that sound fine, but I can't tell what I'm seeing. And then this monster briefly. It's like, okay, sure. Bunch of guys walking, it sounds like gross and gritty, and it's totally appropriate. It sounds great.
Yep.
Okay, into sluggies. Here we go. Let's talk about sluggies. I'm stopping right there. So everything, like it seems like to me, every squish sound is like,
Yeah.
they'll have that envelope to them. Yeah.
That's what made me think of it. It's like it's mouth sounds, and I just was like, who's sucking up stuff?
Yeah, so and mouth sounds can work, but the problem is that since you have like the same kind of shape and like character to every squelch we're hearing, we start focusing on the shape and contour of that squelch, and we start thinking like, what's making that noise? Oh, it's a mouth sound, and it's hard. I'm now not hearing anything else. I'm just hearing that same thing. So it's almost like, I mean, I know it's a work in progress, of course, but I don't think you need to figure out something different for sluggy necessarily. That doesn't not work, but it
just needs some more refinement of like different squelchy bits.
Yeah, like variation in what this squelch means. Because the thing is, if I have like this tendril and this thing, and I'm like, and I hit it, is that gonna go when I hit it, or is it going to go like, or like it's just gonna be something really quick that hits it, and it's more like not like boom, but like it's like it's still got a transient to it. You know, think about like taking like a wet rag and it's going like schlup kind of thing, like it ends. It doesn't go like it stop moving. If I watch the video. Like he's tapping buttons. It's like every single time, you know? So it's definitely more than is needed. That sound is not it can work. I mean, you can think about something like Octodad, for example. And Octodad has like a huge weird array of like vocal sounds and like squishy tentacle noises, and they're not like synced to reality all the time, but because there's so many of them and because it's comically varied, and this game doesn't look very serious to me. Like, it looks like ridiculous, right? So I would even recommend like listening to Octodad because Seth Parker, is that right? Is that the sound designer? Seth Parker did a great job with that game. Sounds awesome, and that's probably a good reference point to look at because that game did very well.
Mm-hmm. And there's another case of look at stuff that Jonas has done. Jonas uses mouth sounds all like by the metric ton for his games.
Yeah. All right, so I want to carry on to this. Well, I'll just press play. Anything else stands out, we'll see. Yeah, just like so many of the same sound. All right, Neon Wasteland. Do, 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 do. I want to see more of that, honestly.
Yep.
Totally. And not because I love it, because I just want to see more.
Yeah. I felt very like back and removed, kind of like there's lots of cool UI sounds and I guess weapon sounds and stuff, but I didn't feel like I'm grounded in the characters fighting.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and that's tough. It's hard to
Smooches.
smooches. Creator at night, welcome. Thanks for that follow. So yeah, it's challenging to be like, what is most important to my ears right now? And the thing is, you're using Wise, so you can totally make that call and say, when this thing happens, drop this thing down out of the way because it's no longer important. This is the most important sound to hear right now.
Yeah.
It's challenging, but you kind of have to do it. What's that clank? What is that sound? It's like shoo clink. Is it this guy? I have no idea what that is. So yeah, case in point, I have no idea what that sound is synced to on the screen right now at all.
And that's one of the like kind of key things with a fighting game. Sound in a fighting game is you have to be able to rapidly know what exactly happened because of the sound.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to see more though, man. And the thing is, the first time we were blowing through this thing, it just because of how long I had an impression of what a minute was. When I got to this Neon Wasteland, I was like, oh man, there's like not much time left in a minute, and I know it's gonna cut off like right here, and then it did. I was like, God, I want to see more of that. There was so much sluggy.
Yeah,
it goes from like what 20 seconds until 45 or so. It's a lot for a minute reel. Is there more elsewhere? Is there? I'm really curious. I also want to see more in general the sound design stuff. So let's just I guess okay, we'll look at sound design also here, and we will. Oh, yo, Sean, yo, good note, man. It sounds very tonal. I meant to mention that too. The kind of magic or I don't know what these abilities are, but if you listen to it, they're like that. Yeah, the ba 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 ba. It can get a bit challenging, or fatiguing to the ear to hear the same like That's why a lot of sound design in games is like, phew, because it's not one pitch. It's like kind of moving around a bit, either like a frequency sweep or like a pitch bend or stuff that's like high enough that it's kind of shimmery and doesn't really hold like a solid pitch, or just like. It's kind of like just washes. They don't have solid pitches. When you have tonality like that, it gives the ear this foothold to kind of grab onto. It's similar to that, the like the same thing over and over again. Your ear becomes familiar with it and then starts hearing it just like almost involuntarily, rather than just being immersed in the scene and hearing what's important. You've effectively lost control of the listener, and that's not a good thing ever to have. And you know what? Even watching it carefully there, I don't know what that sound is. That bling, bling, bling. I don't even know what that's synced to. I thought it was this guy. Then it happened there. Nothing was happening. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, let's go to sound design. Okay, so Death Trash Audio Mockup. This is like a full design?
it's like a minute and a bit.
Minute and a bit, okay. So we'll jump into... Oh, with music too, cool. Yeah, cool. Sounds good. I love your UI dialogue, man. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. And for that one, it's an upcoming post-apocalyptic RPG in a horror, cyberpunk, grotesque, trash talk, sex world. Sweet.
Awesome.
Shattered Empires.
One thing I would note from
Yeah.
this is I can note from Shattered Empires from the bit on the YouTube clip, It says DigiPen, so it's a school project. You called out Death Trash as having devs. I would explicitly call out that this was a student project in this description for Shattered Empires.
Yeah. Okay, sure. I'm on board.
Just setting expectations, I think, is really important.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because like the polish on Death Trash is obviously, like we were looking to ship this thing, right?
Yeah.
And on student projects, well, they want to finish the year out. This is 3 minutes long. I'll skip through it. I've seen this too, man. So you were the audio director, sound designer, composer on the project. So all sound, basically. I assume, unless you had people working under you.
On my way.
On my way. That wasn't your voice. Maybe it was. On my way.
I raise my shield.
What are your thoughts on VO in real content, Matt?
It's tough. It's super tough because it's kind of like, you know, putting music into your sound design reel.
Yeah, it's also one of those things that if it's not good, it can make your game a lot worse. And not like reels,
Yeah.
but like in games in general. There are games that are great but have terrible VO, and they're known for terrible VO. Like that's why
No
they're notable.
VO is better than bad VO.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't the worst VO, but it's like, again, if you call out student project, I won't care if it's bad VO because it's there to
Yeah.
serve a purpose. And like sound design, it's okay. It's not blowing my mind, but it's not bad either. It's not strictly bad, but it's not great either. But student project. Hereafter, fellow composer, Overboard pre-alpha.
I think it's interesting.
Yep.
Calling out in the notes for Hereafter, you talk about like, oh, I picked this mic over another mic. That is totally something only sound designers will care about. And that's part of like, think about the focus that you're trying to achieve with this. Are you trying to get devs to hire you? They're not going to care about that. If you're trying to get work from other sound designers, maybe they will care about that. But it's a very small detail that only sound people will care about.
Yeah. And I mean, given that you are boasting about 34 projects, that says to me that you want to work on a variety of projects, and that says to me freelance. And if you do want to work freelance, then yeah, what Matt just said, no one will care about this information at all.
It's just knowing who your target market is and like making sure that stuff is focused on them.
Right. Okay, 7 hours of voice recordings, cut down to cover 30 to 50 minutes of gameplay. Like, cool, I guess.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds about right, yeah. Man. So this seems really music heavy.
Yeah, for this being on the sound design page, it's like really music heavy.
Yeah, there are sounds, but they seem really functional and not really like hero moments. Like when this pod comes
and you
up.
call out in the description that you were working with a fellow composer, so I'm not even sure if you wrote this music or what.
Yeah. And like if you have access to this project, then you could probably mute the music.
Yeah.
You know. Project Nuts.
Build, loot, shoot, recruit.
Hey, Vesterbeek 12. Yo. Voice actor artist Nathan Bernard Hansen. Logic Pro Tools. Multiple sessions. Helped work on talent. Work in studio. Always fun. Cool. All right. Press play. Here we go. It's like a trailer? what is this widgetic video player? What the heck is this? I'm not really like impressed with the sound design that much. It's like fine. But again, is this student project? I have no idea, or is this like a legit thing? Like that's the kind of info you should call out here, as far as like what this is, if it's shipped, if it was a student thing that had a deadline. Like this right here with the squirrel. Can I even go back in this video player is nuts. It's nuts. You get it?
Hey.
So like shing, fine. It's kind of whatever. And then here it's like spit, pull, and then nothing. Throw, fart, cool. Yeah, like it's like okay, you know, it smacks of student project. I'm not sure. And then finally, Cardboard Kingdom. I'll look at really quick here, because I don't really care about animations that much. Let's see Cardboard Kingdom. Pillow Fort Games. This is some hurtin' music. It sounds cute. It's like really silly. And again, smacks of student project. Ha ha ha! Yeah, the voices are like really cute and silly.
Yep.
There may be too much at times, but again, like the whole VO thing, it's like does it say here? Does it say student project? On this project, I worked alongside.
It has the DigiPen logo at the very beginning, so.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
Okay, of course.
So that's there in the video, but it's not called out in the description. And I would almost I would put that as another category. Like, I'm going to judge your redesign differently than a shipped project, differently from a school project.
Yeah, totally.
You know, if it's a student project, I'm going to think of it differently than a shipped project or a redesign. So.
All right, and see you, Kez. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good sleep. I know you're really late in France, right? I think it's France at least. Pretty sure. Let's consider for a second like the whole 34 projects thing. When I say to people I've worked on like a couple hundred projects, those are things that have shipped.
Yeah.
So if you say I've worked on over 30 projects, are you including like 20 student projects? Because that to me like feels a bit misleading. Like I almost don't count student projects as projects you've worked on. Because working on a project, for example, if you go to GDC and someone says, what are you working on? Or what have you worked on? And you say, oh, I've worked on like 30 projects.
Yeah.
That in a GDC professional environment says to me, you have been working in sound and have worked on and been paid for in some respect or compensated for in some respect 30 projects of work in various capacities. I would not ever think that you mean I've worked on 2 projects and 32 student projects, like, or otherwise like personal things, you know. So I'm not saying you did, but if that is the case, if you're including student things in your project count, then that's a bit misleading to me personally.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Matt agrees with that.
Yeah. It's definitely, without the sort of caveats that go with it, there's definitely people are going to make assumptions about certain things. And yeah, in that GDC setting where you're in a professional setting or, you know, Game Sound Con and someone's like, what have you done? I've done X. People are going to be like, oh, you shipped X. That's what they're going to fill in their brain.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So yeah, totally agree with you.
Cool. So, okay, I'm going to watch this thing for a second. What the hell is this? Because I've seen it before. I'm going straight to the end. What is the credits? A film by, music by, sound by. What the hell? Why have I seen this? Like, I have no idea, man. I must have seen this before at some point, Gray. Like you might, like when I first met you or something. Like went to your site. I don't know. I know it well. Man, I have no idea. Oh well. I'll figure it out. Okay, so finally, distinction. Did we mention that yet? I think that's still yet to be mentioned, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think we talked about that. You know, because of it. Yeah, I've never seen any of it, so you know, it's got that going for it.
Hmm.
It's very indie focused. I felt, which could be kind of part of it because it's that student reel kind of stuff, which kind of is a more of an indie feel to it. So that's my assumption of where you're going to want to work from it. You know, I mean, it calls out in the titles that there's implementation and stuff in it. It doesn't explicitly show it to me, so.
Yeah, that's something I would be interested in seeing actually, Gray, is like if you're doing Fmod, if you're doing Wise, then make a little video and put it also in your sound design section. It's like, here's the thing you just saw and here's how it works. So that's totally worthwhile.
Yeah.
And as far as for me, distinction, I think that overall it's like slick, and that stands out to me. It's a nice. I mean, apart from the whole like scroll down to the front page thing, like this is not your reel, this is your reel. You know, like fix that. Otherwise, it's nice. It looks good, and the reel looks nice too. The the variety of things you've worked on, the general like it's like generally pretty good, and of course there's things to clear up, but it's generally like pretty good. And as Matt said too, the variety of disciplines and showing you have interest in various things, that goes a long way too. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, Jumper Cables. And as always, if you have any questions about anything at all, that goes for you and Kate and Andy and Jeff. Feel free to follow up and just be like, hey, you said this thing, what do you mean by that? That's totally fine. And feel free to put your link in the chat there, Matt.
Just getting that.
Yeah, Matt does
Thank you.
mentorship, like one-on-one mentorship by donation. And I just do it when I freaking have time, which might mean you wait a month, but it'll get to you eventually. And Allie knows all about that in the chat.
There is said link.
And one final clap for Gray. Thanks a lot, pal. Good stuff. I like it. I like the last thing too. I like the variety of stuff you had. Like it's a lot of different stuff in this piece. Just put more things, and be clearer.
Yeah.
All right, that was a fun mega stream. I guess this is an option now to have a freaking Skype open, man.
Yeah, that was fun.
Finally got it working. I'm pumped. So I guess I'll call it right there, and you can hang up if you want, man.
Thanks everyone for submitting stuff and hanging out in the chat, and it's great. Thanks Kevin for hosting all of it, and I'm gonna hang up.
Thanks, Matt.
Bye.
Later. All right, and I'll go back to freaking Gabe Castro for a second.